afternoon or night or whatever time you're watching the following video. Today we're going to cover addition and subtraction of fractions. So by definition, what is a fraction? A fraction represents the parts of a whole or collection of objects. So in other words, if we have a cake, let's imagine this circle is a cake and we have 4 slices. If we take one of the slices, this is going to be represented by a fraction and it would be 1/4. In other words, you take one piece of 4 pieces. So this number is called numerator and this one denominator. With this brief introduction, we are going to start making the problems, right? Let's erase this. Okay, problem number 1. Okay, so if we have an addition of fractions, the answer is going to be another fraction. So we can start by making the line. Perfect. Now we have at least the line of the problem. So what do we have to do? First step, we have to know the common denominator. How do we get the common denominator? Okay, we take both numbers, both denominators of both fractions, and we start dividing these numbers until they become 1. Okay, first let's divide by 2 and we get a number 1. And here a number 3. If we divide by 3, we get 1 and 1. And you may be asking yourself, what is the common denominator? It's the product of these two numbers. So 3 times 2 equals 6. Now that we have the common denominator, we have to get the final number, which should be on top, right? 6. This number is going to be divided by this number and then multiply by the denominator. So 6 divided by 2 equals 3 and 3 multiplied by 1 equals 3. Now 6 divided by 6 equals 1 and 1 times 1 equals 1. So we write a number 1. But what sign are we going to write here? We're going to write the one that is in the fraction. It's a plus sign, so we're going to write a plus. Now we just add the numbers and it's 4/6. This is correct, but if you want to leave the final answer, you have to simplify the fraction. So we divide these numbers until they cannot be divided any longer. If we divide 4 divided by 2 equals 2. And 6 divided by 2 equals 3. So 2/3 is our final answer. Let's get the next problem. Okay, we have these pair of fractions. They are in addition. So first step, we need to get the common denominator. 4 and 3. Let's divide by 2. And this number is going to be a2 and a3. If we divide again by 2, this one becomes a 1 and this one is still a 3. Now we divide by 3 and this number becomes a 1 and this one also a 1. And to finally get the common denominator, we have to calculate the product of these 3 numbers. 3 times 2 equals 6 and 6 times 2 equals 12. So 12 divided by 4 equals 3 times 2 equals 6. We have a plus sign, so we write the plus sign. Now 12 divided by 3 is 4 and 4 multiplied by 1 is 4. So this is a 10/12. And we can simplify this by dividing by 2. This one becomes a5 and this one a6. You may be asking yourself, can I simplify more? No, because there's not a common number that can be divided by both terms. For example, if I divide by 5, the 5 can become a 1, but the 6 is going to be still a 6 because 6 is not divisible by 5. Now, in problem number 3, we have 3 fractions. Do not get scared, it's the same. but now we have 3 denominators, but we're gonna still calculate a common denominator. We take all of the numbers, so it's gonna be 4, 6, and 3. If we divide by 2, this one becomes a 2, this one a 3, and this one a 3. If we divide by 2 again, this one becomes a 1, a 3, and a 3. If we divide by 3, this one becomes a 1, and a 1. And 3 times 2 equals 6, times 2 equals 12. So our common denominator is 12. Now let's start calculating the last number. So 12 divided by 4 equals 3, and this one multiplied by this equals also 3. Now 12 divided by 6 equals 2, times 1 equals 2. And it's positive because we have a plus sign, right? Now 12 divided by 3 equals 4, times 1 equals 4. Now we just have to add these numbers, and the result is 9 over 12. And these numbers can be divided by 3. Therefore, our final answer is going to be 3, because 9 divided by 3 is 3, and 12 divided by 3 equals 4. So our final answer is 3/4. Now, number 4 is a little bit different. We have a negative sign, but do not worry, it's the same. Okay, so we write our line, we take both numbers, a 7 and a 4, and we start dividing. 7 and 4 divided with 2, it's 7 and 2. If we divide again by 2, this one becomes a 7 and this one a 1. And now we divide by 7, and this one is a 1 and a 1. 7 times 2 equals 14, and 14 times 2 equals 28. So our common denominator is 28. Now 28 divided by 7 equals 4, and 4 multiplied by 1 equals 4. Now we have a negative sign, so we write it, and 28 divided by 4 equals 7, and 7 multiplied times 3 equals 21. Now remember the law of the signs. 21, it's bigger than 4 and it's negative. Therefore, we just make the subtraction and leave the sign with a bigger number. And the biggest number is the 21. Therefore, it's minus 17 over 28. And that's our final answer, because we cannot divide any longer or simplify these numbers. Therefore, this is the final answer. As you may have noticed, the most difficult part is getting the common denominator, but if you follow every single step, it's going to be easy for you. And after you get the common denominator, you just have to divide and multiply by every single term, and then simplify, and that's it. Remember, the problem is not your capacity, it's assuming that you cannot achieve it. See you in the next video.